College basketball on FSN is brought to you by Banner Bank. Better ideas, better banking. This is the earliest season opener in Washington history, and it is the first meeting between the Huskies and the Waves of Pepperdine University. Coming off of a 7-20 season. Take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Huskies, Spencer Hawes not in the middle. Artem Wallace will start at center, the sophomore out of Toledo, Washington, and the true freshman Quincy Pondexter with Brockman out on the wing.
It's a good starting lineup. I'm anxious to see Quincy Pondexter this year.
Lorenzo Romar is in his 5th season as the head coach at the University of Washington. Started out at Pepperdine, just got a contract extension.
And a great move. It solidifies his position here. It shows he is solidifying he's committing to this program. So his recruiting is going to be a lot easier now.
First-year head coach Vance Wahlberg moves up to Division I and will push the pace, and he'll go with a 3-guard lineup. Small guys that are a little bit quick and maybe lacking in length as he makes the transition in the Waves game. Wahlberg comes over after 4 seasons at Fresno City College, where his teams averaged 104 points a game.
This is going to be exciting. He's going to push it. I can't wait to see his team in a couple of years when he's able to draft the kind of athletes he wants. But he seems to already be comfortable with this system.
Well, when you consider that this man is on the threshold, he wants to get this one right in part. Now, this is a guy, he's a real student of the game. As you have noted, Bob, he has gone literally all over the country and studied the systems of guys like George Karl of the Denver Nuggets, John Calipari at the University of Memphis. He's picked Lute Olson's brain. He's picked Bob Knight's brain back in the day, but he is asking a team to step up from a scoring average of 66 a game a season ago. Washington, on the other hand, led the Pac-10, averaging 82 points a game. The similarity between both Wahlberg's plan and Romar's reality is a lot of times they start that transition offense with good, solid defense.
Well, he is going to. He traps a lot. He tries to make you play his game. A lot of teams are not comfortable with that. Washington should be comfortable with an up-tempo game, so we don't know how that's going to play out.
Washington 26-7 a season ago, 14-4, second to UCLA in the Pac-10 conference, eliminated by Connecticut in the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. Again, a Sweet 16 team 2 years running, the University of Washington, and the 06-07 season is underway. Justin Dentman, the sophomore out of Carbondale, Illinois, driving to Appleby in the corner. He said he wanted to run the paint. Sets up Dentman from the corner for 3 and score it.
Great draw and kick by Appleby. Good ball movement. Now they're putting on their own pressure right now.
Going to be hard for the Waves to get their offense going. Ball in the hands of Greg Barlow, the senior out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Marvin Lee carrying Pondexter into the painted area. Now comes Chase Griffin, a Seattle area guy out of Eastlake High School in Sammamish. Washington pushing an opponent all the way out near the half-court line, and Lee carried the basketball. Washington forces a turnover.
Here's Dentman driving, and then they're trying to cut off Appleby's 3-point shot. That is going to open up the penetration for him. Nice job.
Pepperdine answers with some full-court pressure of its own, and Appleby finds himself in a trap, loses the handle on the basketball, out off of Marvin Lee on the scramble. So Washington maintains possession with 25 seconds to shoot. 40 minutes of hell. Wasn't that Nolan Richardson's formula for success in Arkansas? And Vance Wahlberg says he'd like to do the same at Pepperdine.
They're going to put pressure on you. With that double team, you've got to be ready to get rid of the ball before that double team clamps you, because once it gets on you, it's too late.
Off the turnover, Chris Oakes walked with the basketball. 6'9". He's not necessarily the guy on a roster of 6'3", 6'4" guys that you want carrying or bringing the basketball, putting it on the floor to bring it up court.
It's okay when he passes it, but if he wants to try and put it down, he can get in trouble.
Pondexter spins and scores on his first collegiate shot. Maybe he stops right there. He can finish shooting 1,000.
He won't stop right there.
Pondexter out of Fresno, California, San Joaquin Memorial High School.
You know, Washington's going about this. They're putting pressure on these people. They had the shot clock down to 10 seconds last time before Pepperdine turned it over. And they did it with their defense. Pepperdine wants to take quick shots.
But if you take a quick shot and you miss from 3, you give the other guy a long rebound and you get a chance to start in transition. Now Lee had a notion. Detman and Brockman shut him down, but Griffin beyond the arc. He's long with that. Willie Gallick corrals that. Gallick from Nanaimo, British Columbia, to the Seattle area guy, Griffin. Crosses over on Pondexter, may have taken a step. Washington matching Pepperdine's pressure, touch for touch, and forcing the turnover.
Washington's defense has a lot of pressure into it, and they're doing it without breaking down. Pepperdine will get three-point shots if they can break their man down, drive, and draw and kick, but so far they haven't been able to do that.
Wholesale substitution, 4 new men on the floor just 2 minutes into the ball game for Wahlberg and Pepperdine, which has turned the ball over 3 times in these first 2 minutes. And Appleby dragged his foot.
I thought he got rid of that ball. I thought he got rid of it before he touched down. He's got to get that pass. Somebody's got to get open 1 second sooner, so as the double team is coming at him, he's got a pass to make.
Kingsley Costain, a junior out of Toronto, Canada. Working Detman. Pass inside to the coach's son, Jason Wahlberg, who bangs it off of Appleby out of bounds, and so the Waves will get a chance to set up again with 22 seconds to shoot. Now, Barlow and Gallick, I think what happened was the coaching staff had a word with them on the bench, and they are right back into the ball game.
It's going to be a little hard to keep track who's going to be in there if it's going to be like this all night.
Pondexter forcing Lee to take a tough shot. Brockman is there to clean it up.
I can't say enough about their defense so far. They're doing a great job of man-to-man defense, and they're the ones running, getting opportunity baskets.
Pondexter gets his own and will go to the free throw line with a chance to make a 3-point play out of this.
Okay, we got a replay here. Your defense creates it for you. You got mismatches, you got numbers, and you got a chance for a 3-point play here.
Pondexter's dad, Roscoe, played for Lute Olson in Long Beach State. There's Spencer Hawes, the freshman out of Seattle Prep High School, making his collegiate debut. Heard him say today that he has waited a very long time for this. Pondexter has a quick 5 points, and the Huskies fans are going to get tired. The students don't sit down until the opponent scores a point, and so far Pepperdine has not.
I don't want to jinx him by saying anything. Oh, that was your fault. You did that, not me.
You know something? Yeah, that's one of those kind of classic where the big guy leans in, and I didn't think Brockman got body, but when the big guy is leaning in and then the opponent leans into him, the big guy gets called for the contact.
They do give the break to the offensive player on that.
Lee averaged only 11 minutes of playing time last year, and all those fans can have a seat as he puts the Waves onto the board. Only played in 12 games and shot 27% from the floor. He's actually 8 of 16 at the free throw line. This is one of Wahlberg's challenges, is he's got a bunch of role players and part-timers into the lineup.
Well, the fans stood up for 3 minutes.
Blake Wallace, number 2 blue. He is the only recruit that Pepperdine was able to scholarship. Detman gets past him, and Pondexter puts it on the floor, straight down the barrel. Brockman scores.
That's what you want to do against a trap. You don't want to just be content to get the ball over. If they're going to double team you at half court, you want to make them pay under the basket. Great job.
Costain. Inside to the Lithuanian Tomas Pranciliauskas. And back into the big guy, Jared Henry, who goes up, gets his own, then Hawes knocks it out of bounds. Pepperdine ball with 35 seconds to shoot. Meantime, back at the ranch.
Here you see the pressure in the backcourt. There's a double team. They get it by the double team, and they don't just be content with getting it up. They attack the basket.
Brockman sits, and one of the other members of the freshman class, Phil Nelson from Kaiser, Oregon, wearing 44 white, makes his college debut. Wahlberg steps on the line, and another turnover, the 4th for Pepperdine.
Pepperdine's not getting a chance to run and gun. That defense is slowing them down. A lot of times against a team you know is going to run and gun, you have everybody get back in the paint and recover quickly, and you play right into their hands. There's another attack.
A great read as Haas got inside his man Henry in the lane, and Spencer Haas will go to the free throw line for 2.
Here's a pass by Dentman. You know, he might be able to double up as a quarterback. That was a
you know, the football team doesn't have a single healthy quarterback as it prepares for the Apple Cup, the season finale at Washington State next weekend. Maybe Lorenzo Romar could work a little deal with Tyrone Willingham. Spencer Haas averaged a double-double as a senior, a state championship run at Seattle Prep High School, 20 points, 11 rebounds, and he has his first 2 points as a collegiate.
Didn't seem too nervous on those.
He's looking down at the basket at 7 feet.
Yeah, but the basket's at 10. I don't know if I told you.
Wahlberg has the ball tipped away by Pondexter. A little floor burn, and it is off of Quincy Pondexter, but he'll take that.
We got the 4th freshman out there together.
Adrian Oliver is also now into the ball game. So Romar is giving his young guns a real good look early in their first game. And Costain dribbles this one off of his foot. 5th turnover by the Waves.
Can't say enough about that defense. They are doing well.
Talk about the culture that Romar has at Washington. A lot of young players, only 2 seniors, and they are role guys. But there is a culture here that everybody seems to understand.
Well, that's a... Oh. Got a little over anxious on that walk, but you've got to understand your roles. You got to be happy with your roles. Then you can take the team to the next level.
Take a look at the numbers, and behind those numbers, the Waves' first 11 possessions, 0 for 6 shooting, 5 turnovers. Their only points so far off of free throws as Dentman is giving Costain a problem. Then the Lithuanian Prechliauskas misses one off the bullet pass, and Washington in transition. A little showtime as Haas unselfishly gives it up to the trailer Pondexter.
Great touch
suddenly
pass.
Washington has a 12-point lead.
Great touch pass. That shows you how well he understands the game. You know, the thing that impresses me is not so much the shooting percentage, but the seconds on the clock when they're finally getting a shot. This is a team that wants to run and gun. They're not getting a chance.
What a debut for Quincy Pondexter. Seven points on 3 of 4, make it 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting. 4 minutes and change into the first half of his college career.
Look at this tip pass by Haas. There you go, with the defense starting the whole thing out. Oh.
Well, Pondexter sets
the one
himself
I thought coming up.
But
My bad.
Pondexter sets himself up, or sets the Huskies up, with the steal.
Great defense. See, he's all over the place. Romar expects him to be one of the defensive stars of this team, and he's showing that he can do it tonight.
Harvey Perry missed last season with a back injury. You see him number 1 on the right side of your screen. Redshirt freshman out of North Las Vegas. Dentman remains on the floor, and what a great job he has been doing, forcing Pepperdine's offense outside. Underneath for the flush. Great read. Costain finds Chris Oakes for the Waves' first field goal. Oliver spots up and is a little bit long lead with the rebound, and another great transition opportunity. Oakes will go to the line with a chance to convert a 3-point play. Nelson was beaten, reached in, and slapped him anyhow.
Got him on the head. Here's that last Pepperdine play. You'll notice no court balance. Everybody went in. The shooter, you got to have one person stay back at the shooter, especially if you're shooting from the side.
We'll talk about that, because one thing that young guys have to learn how to do is space the floor at both ends. But so far, so good for Washington, a 10-point lead. Brian Davis and Bob Weiss at Bank of America Arena, Washington by 10.
Here's that tip pass by Haas. You know, it's just a little thing, but that shows understanding of the game. I've seen some guys make that play because they dropped the ball. This was on purpose. This guy can do it.
And Chris Oakes completes the three-point play. He has 5 of Pepperdine's 7 points so far. Perry on the run as Lee misses him. Inside, Oliver looking for the big guy. Haas with screen. Dentman gets it back. Thought twice about it. Nice hook shot, and Haas has the field goal off the rim.
They attacked again. Oliver's had 2 good looks. Those are fine. He'll make those.
Washington 6 of 10 from the field. Pepperdine 2 of 8 here in the early going. And off the ball. Foul is called, I believe, on Justin Dentman.
Haas showed us he can pass the ball. There he shows you he can score in the post. What else did we talk about? Oh, his defense. All right, we'll see him playing defense in a second.
He'll get his chance, no doubt about it. Brockman comes back onto the floor. Dentman finally, after 5.5 all-out minutes, gets a well-earned rest on the Washington bench. Gallic passes it up for Lee. Bothered by Perry, and he is called for the hold. Didn't look like much of a hold, but
I didn't see it, but I didn't have the whistle.
13th foul against Washington. Off the alley-oop. They practiced that restart this morning. Gallic doesn't convert the inbounds from Wahlberg, but he'll go to the free throw line.
Steve will learn on that one. He allowed him. He gave him a path to the basket. And so once he takes that path, you know, you want to direct him to where you want him, allow him to go. And right to the basket is not the spot.
Gallic, the Pepperdine Waves leading returning scorer at 7 points a game. The sophomore from the 9-0 British Columbia. It's another guy who only averaged 20 minutes a game.
They're going to stay with that press. That's what they do. They keep the pressure on you.
Nice job by Nelson to recover. Bullet pass into the post for Brockman.
Great recovery by Brockman. They got a hand on that one.
Brockman has 4. Griffin walked with the basketball on the baseline, but Pepperdine is beginning to find their guys.
Well, they've gotten that back door 3 times now, but Brockman always rotates over to cut it off. They have not scored off it yet.
And at the other end, Brockman patient,
good hands, and then once he got the ball in his hands, he put it in the hole.
From the free throw line, he finds his former AAU teammate Haas. That's another thing, too. These guys are not just getting to know each other. Brockman and Haas played together. Haas played for Lorenzo Romar on a U.S. national under-18 team, so there is some familiarity.
Yeah, they've hooked up at different places.
Lee from the NBA three-point range finds it, and he has 5 points.
Yeah, they couldn't be kept quiet that long.
Oliver tries the extra pass. Wahlberg knocks it away.
Another touch pass.
Back into Brockman's hands.
This team's going to be fun to watch.
They move the ball so quickly.
Yeah, nobody's selfish either. They're just giving it to the guy who's got the best shot.
The Haas coming all the way out. Lee loses Perry, but a good recovery. Washington playing man-to-man. Wahlberg trying to set up a play with Brockman all the way outside on him. Gallic can't handle it. Another turnover for Pepperdine.
Here's the last bucket. Oliver will get in there and make things happen. And when he did, pass to Haas, pass to Brockman. You know, to Pepperdine's credit, they're not just coming down and taking bad shots because they want to take a lot of shots. They realize there's good defensive pressure by Washington, and they're taking their time.
Appleby jump stop, throws it up. Brockman tries to clean it up. And he'll be called for fouling Costain in the scramble. Kingsley Costain shot 35% from the floor. He was a West Coast Conference all-freshman team guy in 2005, but hasn't gotten his form back or did not have it last season.
Well, an open game might help him.
Brockman now with 2 fouls. Tyler Carr looking for Pransiliaskis, makes a move on Appleby. And Brockman comes over to help, and Wahlberg is long with the triple. Oh. Fans trying to help Brockman. He didn't see it coming, and Wahlberg says, hey, look at what I got. And he scores with it.
Yeah, that was just an ill-advised pass. You got to know who you're throwing to. You got to make sure he's ready to receive the ball. He was open, but he wasn't even looking.
Nelson, an NBA 3 is long. Haas, the putback, little anxious. Take that back out and start a play.
Well, yeah, that was a tough shot. Phil's going to make his threes, though.
Wahlberg with a couple of baskets now, and Appleby turned the ball over. They are being a little tougher on that carry rule in both the college and the NBA. Appleby assessed the turnover, and hey, Pepperdine all of a sudden within 8.
They're hanging in there.
Quincy Pondexter, 9 points on 4 of 6 shooting from the floor.
That was his first time he touched the ball right there. It didn't take him long to score after his first touch. Been playing great. He hits the boards. I especially like his defense. So here he gets a steal. He's going to take it back down and convert it.
3 rebounds, and he has helped contribute to the Waves' 8 turnovers. Chase Griffin is shut down by Appleby. Lee puts it on the floor and is fouled, bumped by Harvey Perry, and that is his second personal. I think that Pondexter and Jason Wahlberg probably saw each other from time to time back in the Valley.
Yeah,
Lee converts his first free throw. He's got 6 points.
It's going to be interesting to see if Washington can maintain the pressure they started out with in the first 8 minutes, the whole game. Because that is a tiring situation. You know, you're putting that much pressure on a team. And Pepperdine's not going to stop running. They're not going to stop coming at you. So if you can maintain that pressure and containment, the big thing is the containment, because that's how they're trying to get open. They're trying to draw the seams, kick to an open jump shooter. They don't run a whole lot of picks in their offense.
Appleby for 3. Denton can't handle it. Here comes Barlow on the run out, looking inside for the big guy. Oakes can't handle it. Washington in transition. Perry driving and earning a trip to the free throw line.
You know, if you put a clock on which team shoots quicker tonight, Washington will be have the advantage of shooting quicker. That's not always an advantage, but tonight it is, because there are a lot of conversions because of the good defense they're playing.
And Perry coming off of a season loss to a back injury, so we'll count him as a newcomer. And one of the advantages that he has had being in the weight room and being under the tutelage of this coaching staff is that he has put on quite a bit of bulk. And Bob, I've watched him practice, and I see him as one of those X-factor guys, one of the players who has the potential to step up and make a big impact for Romar as Washington goes through this transition.
Yeah, he's definitely a great athlete, and he's also someone that Lorenzo is looking for a lot of defense. Full
court pressure by both teams almost the entire way as we've played Not quite half of the first half. Thought Lee took a step, but he feeds it inside to Henry for the finish. And the post players have started to make an impact for Pepperdine. Pondexter beyond the arc. And
so I thought that was an example of maybe their pressure getting you to take a shot you're not quite comfortable with. Pondexter is a decent shooter, but he's an excellent penetrator, an excellent guy around the hoop. So you'd much rather have him making something happen than taking that three.
Second personal on Barlow, the starting point guard for Pepperdine, and he'll have a seat. Had a handful of jersey coming back down after that miss by Pondexter. Appleby bothered by Chase Griffin. Dentman, wow, little hanging jumper, put back, won't fall. Hans Gasser gets it again, and the senior from Issaquah, Washington, will go to the free throw line for a pair.
Pepperdine's making them miss some, but they've got to get those rebounds. Those putbacks will kill you.
Washington 10 of 22. Pepperdine has had only 13 field goal attempts. Gasser, as a senior at Issaquah High School, well, actually going back to years prior, he started his last 56 games for a pretty good high school program on Seattle's east side.
Puts two in easily there. Actually, Pepperdine is not in that bad a position because I think Washington has outplayed them to this point. They're still right in the game, and they have not played their best basketball yet.
For a team that wants to push the pace and you only have 13 field goal attempts, how do you raise that work rate a little bit? Washington's defense is making it miserable for them right now.
They've just got to find somebody that can break their man down.
Costain just did.
There he is.
Your Honor, I give you Exhibit A. So Costain's first.
Oh, he's open.
Pondexter indeed off the bullet from Appleby. "11 field goals for Washington, 9 assists. That's really good distribution."
Well, it's not only good distribution. It's they're each distributing the ball to each other. But yeah, great passes. That means that there's not many one-on-one plays.
Pondexter just got a forearm in the throat from Jared Henry. Needed a moment to gather himself. Lee puts a move on Pondexter. Gasser is there, but is called for the blocking foul. No, charging foul. Draws the charge. Heady play by the senior.
And that's what happens when you have good pressure on the ball. This guy's been trying to get around Pondexter all night. Lee finally gets around him, and he's too preoccupied with Pondexter. He takes the charge, gets the charge.
Oliver. Dentman says that's on me, threw it behind you.
Just when I think they're handling that well, they turn it over.
Half a dozen turnovers now for the Huskies. Pepperdine has settled down. They had 7 turnovers early, 10 total. As we play into the second half of the first half. And wow, you want to talk about a hard pick.
It's like a cracked back block.
Gallick. I want to talk about taking a hit to make the play. And Dentman, there it is right there.
That is a hard hit. You're running into it, plus the pick is still moving on you.
And that's the trigger, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to be still. He was still moving right through the pick. You not only have to be still, but when that guy's got his back to you, you got to give him a step.
It's also Gallick's second foul. So Dentman loses the handle, beats the 10 count. Oliver from beyond the arc drains it. Adrian Oliver, his first collegiate points. Costain, Pondexter's 4th rebound. Nice recovery. And look at that.
These kids are having fun.
Those guys know each other from the Valley, too. Pondexter pushes him out. Oliver working on Jason Wolberg. Drives into the paint, thought he dragged his foot, but he scores over Adrian Oliver.
Good move, good move. I thought the defense was good. He just made a nice move at the end.
Wahlberg transferred over after getting his degree in 4 years from St. Mary's College. Gasser is fouled underneath, and the Huskies will go to the line again, holding a 12-point lead over Pepperdine in the Basketball Travelers Classic in Seattle. Huskies build that 12-point lead. Brian Davis, Bob Weiss, Washington playing like a team that knows each other, moving the ball like they know each other pretty well, Bob. Pretty good for young guys.
Well, they're young. Here, Adrian hits that. The fans are going to love this kid. He is a good basketball player. But they're making great basketball plays, and it's not so much because they've played together and know each other. You can know a guy a long time, but if you can't pass, you won't make a good pass. These guys understand basketball. They see the open man. They make the play. They're unselfish enough to make the right play, and that's what causes good passing.
Oliver, the 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting, and you've seen his assist. Hans Gasser has been making his living tonight at the free throw line, and has another. Gasser, one of the 2 seniors on this team, along with Brandon Burmeister, who can help the young guys learn what being a Husky is all about.
He plays hard. He will do that.
Well, they have been working Pondexter at the defense.
They've been trying to. See, that's where they create a lot of their baskets, with Lee penetrating and kicking, but he cannot get around Pondexter consistently. So every shot they get is a struggle, and it takes them a lot more time than they want to take.
Brockman and Haas force Wahlberg to pass, but inside Griffin
making some nice plays.
Finds Oaks. Post play has helped Pepperdine stay in this ball game. Brockman, though.
What ball movement?
Oh. Three of 4 from the floor, 6 points for Brockman. Barlow leans in over his man and scores.
Nice offensive play by Barlow.
All of a sudden, Pepperdine is over 50% from the floor at 10 of 18. Haas to Oliver, back outside to Dentman, a little off balance, but Brockman, nobody boxed him out, and he makes Pepperdine pay with another tip in.
They definitely have the size advantage, and they're taking advantage of it tonight with the second shots. This should be a penetration. He's got a smaller man on him. Good team defense, though. There it is. He finally got in, but couldn't finish it off.
Denton playing dangerous. Ooh. Oliver creates some space. Pondexter.
When things are going well, they go well. You miss a pass, it bounces right back to you.
That's exactly right. Now let's go back to a couple possessions prior.
Now that play right there was the end result of attacking the trap. The Pepperdine strategy is to make you play fast. The problem is, if you get a team that's talented, unselfish, and is not afraid to attack right away, you're giving them opportunities. And of course, Washington has taken every advantage of that tonight.
Oaks takes a seat with his second personal foul as Pondexter looks for a little better luck at the free throw line, but he already has 11 points and 5 rebounds in this ball game. Washington has outboarded the Waves 14-7. They'll get no love this time around. Pepperdine started 0 of 6 from the floor, but since then, Bob, 10 of 13 from the field.
Well, they're being patient. You know, they're not, to their credit, they're adjusting to what Washington is throwing at them. And, you know, they'd like to take more shots per game, but they're not forcing it.
Phil Nelson onto the floor, so you have a sophomore, 3 true freshmen, and a redshirt freshman for Washington. Lorenzo Romar has probably told these guys, I'm going to put it on you early.
Well, you're going to see it a lot this year.
Jason Wahlberg was questionable for this game with a bruised knee, and Perry takes it all the way in after Lee mishandles the inbounds pass. Harvey Perry with 4 points.
That was great defense by Perry.
Suddenly Washington leads by 16.
That's the kind of play they want to make. Drive at you, get the open three.
Wahlberg
Forced to take timeout.
Yeah, he was in the trees.
See, that breakdown was on Nelson. He's trying to pick people up a little too close. He's trying to play over what he can actually do. It resulted in a breakdown.
Now, defensive spacing is important, but sometimes good individual effort can help you out.
Yeah, right there, that was great. Didn't give up on the play.
Let's talk about when you're trying to get a group of guys to buy into a system, whether it's at the offensive end or the defensive end. Lorenzo Romar, I've heard him tell his guys in practice a couple of times, fellas, talking particularly to the freshmen, you have got to space the floor properly or this isn't going to happen for us.
Well, spacing is everything on offense or defense. You've got to be aware of it. A lot of times it looks like people are just out there playing, but almost on every play, defensively or offensively, everybody has a certain spot they've got to be in.
So the 16-point advantage now off that Washington run the last 4.5 minutes, and Wahlberg is playing with the official, says, I can't hear. Students too loud, says, no, I was just teasing you. Inbounds to Barlow, scores, and he'll go to the line.
That was a nice feed. Good offensive move. You can put pressure on, but you can't get backdoor.
Now, you think Jason Wahlberg maybe learned a thing or two from his dad? You make nice to the officials, so later on, if it's a tight game, they'll subconsciously maybe help you out a little bit?
You know, everything's been tried with officials. I don't know if anything works.
Oh, how about that? It was almost an accident. Credit Jared Henry.
There's that pressure. They're not going to give up.
Oh, boy, Haas, in soccer parlance, played the dummy as the pass went through to Nelson, out of bounds off Brockman. Pepperdine's basketball with a chance to cut this lead back to a more manageable level. 3-point bucket would get you single digits.
Harvey, turn around.
Can't relax against a team like this. You think you're playing well, you're thinking you got everything figured out. They just keep coming at you.
Staying with Appleby, a 5-second count, and another turnover for Pepperdine. The Waves' 13th of the first half.
Hold your
When you're on the road, you can't turn the ball over that many times. It's even tough at home to win that many turnovers.
Nelson was looking, I think, back out for Appleby. Chase Griffin from Eastlake High School in Sammamish can't finish.
Dodged the bullet there. Point blank layup.
Appleby said he wanted to drive to the paint and is called for the charge.
Well, he wants to go to the hole a little more. He's got to be able to read things, though, if he's going to do that.
Nice read by Wahlberg, and then he jumped in to get set. 12-point Washington advantage. Costain creates a little room off of Appleby. Then Lee spinning, driving on Perry. Brockman's rebound. At the edge, Perry with a little teardrop.
I thought Lee got in there a little easier than he had in the past against Poindexter. Although Perry is no slouch. There's that backdoor cut. Good cut off.
Griffin on the reversal had it blocked by Perry. Little tip. Washington comes away. Brockman from the free throw line. Give him a 16-point Washington advantage. Back to match their largest of the ball game. Wahlberg stops and pops over Artem Wallace, the sophomore from Toledo, Washington. Off the rebound, little razzle-dazzle by Appleby, and Brockman can't pay it off. Lee rebounds. Suddenly, Pepperdine is limiting Washington to one shot. Coast to coast, he'll go to the free throw line.
That was unfortunate. He had him off balance, tough shot, bailed him out.
Time taken. Washington with a 16-point lead late first half. The B of A in the Basketball Travelers Classic. Washington against Nicholls State tomorrow, then Northern Iowa in the tournament finale on Tuesday. Gentleman on the left is Steve Haas, Spencer's uncle. And the man on the right, his dad, Jeff, both former Huskies. And Steve Haas, let's see, 17 years now we've been doing Washington basketball on FSN. And Steve Haas, who had a terrific career here and then played 10 years in the NBA, he was our very first college basketball analyst, our first Huskies analyst on FSN. Both uncle, for whom Spencer wears the number 10, and dad very proud to see Spencer in the ball game tonight. Pondexter took a step. As he took the big guy into the post, Jared Henry did a good job of getting his hands up, and Pondexter turns it over. Washington's turned it over 8 times here in the first half.
Yeah, I didn't know if he just took 2 steps with the same foot, kept his pivot foot down, or if he actually moved it. Sometimes the officials will call that on you. When you take 2 steps, even if you leave your pivot foot down, they get confused sometimes.
Wallace has the rebound batted away by Barlow, and that turns into an extra possession for Pepperdine.
They're going to keep coming at you.
Heady play by the senior from Las Vegas, Artem Wallace. An intriguing guy, good size. Started tonight at center, 6'8", 240 pounds. Played a lot early last year, but then only wound up averaging 9 minutes a game. So Lorenzo Romar wants to see just a little bit more from Wallace in terms of the game he brings to the floor. Pepperdine has scored 13 points. Check it, has turned the ball over 13 times, leading to 15 Washington points. Pepperdine has scored only 3 points over the now 9 Huskies turnovers committed here in the first half. Barlow thought about it. Oliver shut him down. Play clock inside 10. Here's the freshman, Blake Wallace, out of Yorba Linda, Servite High School. The only freshman that they were able to scholarship because of some numbers problems at Pepperdine. Wallace now on the board.
That was the first time they've scored off that backdoor cut. They usually seal it off every time. Wallace was a little slow getting there. Got caught outside his own man and couldn't make the rotation.
Dentman for Washington's biggest lead of the night. Huskies only 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, but they are firmly in control here late in the first half at Bank of America Arena. First meeting ever between these teams. I find that hard to believe. There's the Lithuanian, Pranciliauskas. Remember, Fresno City College was Vance Wahlberg's proving ground for a high-octane offense that averaged 104 points a game in his 4 seasons there. Pepperdine's played 2 exhibitions, Bob, and averaged 106. So Washington has done a terrific job.
They've, you know, I can't tell you how well they've played defense, because you knew that this team was going to run it at you, and their game plan had to be, how do we slow it down? And how do you do it? Pick them up with defense. Don't let them run at you. Make them fight to get the ball off the floor. Well, and if you leave a guy alone, he's going to hurt you badly. And Gasser makes it consecutive triples for Washington, and now a 16-point lead. Wow, Pranciliauskas is shooting from, well, from his homeland. Vilnius, Lithuania. Air ball, but Dentman turns the ball over, coming back up the floor. Yeah, that was definitely a long-range shot there. European guys really do like to shoot it sometimes from almost anywhere on the floor. Yes. How many time zones is that out that he shot that ball? I think from his homeland. Now from here, I think it would be an 11-hour difference.
Brent has got some underage national team experience, and the referees are going to look at the play. And this is what we're going to look at here. Did he catch iron? What's the question? He didn't catch iron. Now coming away with a Dentman.
Was it 24 running out?
With some contact.
24. I mean,
yes.
Can you tell Edmund
40 years in the NBA will do that to you. Was it a 2 or a 3-point shot? Was Gasser's, was the toe on the line? That may be the bigger question right now. Hard to tell from that angle.
I think he should get a leeway because he doesn't take many. Give it to him.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here, watch between.
That's between the leg
Jared
cam.
Henry's legs. Well, that was close, but
still can't tell.
Hard to tell.
Looks like his right foot might have been on the line.
Now Gasser, you know, you're exactly right. I mean, 5 of 19 from 3 last year. It's a 2-point basket, though, off the review. And a 20-second timeout is taken by Lorenzo Romar, as we have barely, well, not even a second more than a shot clock's worth remaining in the first half. Earlier tonight, it's a 3-ball fest. Northern Iowa and Nicholls State combined for 23 3-point shots made and 62 attempts. Nicholls State comes up here. They played Mississippi State yesterday. They come up here because of injury and eligibility issues. They dress 8 guys, and they still stay in with a very good Northern Iowa team that went to the NCAA tournament a year ago and wind up, in the end, they kind of ran out of gas. Northern Iowa wins by 6 points, but that was a very entertaining game.
It was 2 points in the last 20 seconds, I think it was, and they did a great job. They executed. They made Northern Iowa play their game, their speed, had a chance to win it.
Lee beats the trap. Wahlberg looking for space. Brant did not have room to shoot. Puts a move on Dentman. And will the Waves wait for one last shot? I think they're going to take, frankly, what they can get as Lee puts it on the floor, drives on Pondexter, and is fouled by Gasser.
Good penetration by Lee. Now they did go early. They went. Now there's 9 seconds left for Washington to get a shot. They had a chance to shoot that one closer to the end, where there's no chance for the other team to come back at you.
Oh, we got 2 shots.
A lot of coaches want to shoot it a little earlier so that if you miss, you got a chance for a offensive rebound and a putback.
Lee, the senior out of Riverside, California, played at King High School. 6'3". There are a lot of 6'3", 6'4" guys on this Waves team, and to play the up-tempo style where you set up your transition game with defense, you need longer players, and that is Wahlberg's recruiting mission going forward. Appleby from 3. Gasser with a great effort at the buzzer, but it won't fall. Washington will take a 15-point lead to the locker room at intermission.
They're feeling confident. They're playing very well. Great ball movement, great defense.
Washington shoots 57% in the first half. Pepperdine not bad at 45, but they turn it over 13 times, leading to 15 points for Lorenzo Romar's Crews. Halfway through the season opener in Seattle, Washington with a 15-point lead over Pepperdine. We're headed to the second half at Seattle. Washington coming off a 3rd consecutive trip to the NCAA tournament. A turnover in personnel. Quincy Pondexter, quite a debut for the Huskies.
Well, he came in firing, and he plays hard, and it's paid off. Great steal. And the thing I liked is right here at the end. Little point guard knows he doesn't have a chance. He steps in front. A lot of guys, especially freshmen, would run right over him trying to get to the hoop. But he had enough poise, stop, take the play.
And then the captain, John Brockman, playing like a captain.
He's playing great. You know, he moves so well without the ball. He's always around the hoop. You can always find him. And then I love this shot because that is going to give him a lot of confidence. If he can step out, hit that, as well as score in the hoop, or in the hoop, in the paint, he's going to be very good.
Those two guys, yeah, how about it? Those guys, 11 of 17, combining for 23 points and 9 rebounds. Now, Pepperdine started 0 for 7 from the floor, but started to push the pace a little bit. The big guys, Jared Henry and Chris Oakes, wound up contributing 11 points as it started working in the post. Then Lee into the act, and remember, the Waves are playing without arguably their best player, Michael Garrity, out with an injury, but then the Lithuanian Pranceliauskas with a three-point shot as the Waves challenged down the stretch before Washington pulled away to the margin that we see at the moment, which is 15 points. Take a look at the big numbers. Anything jump out at you, Coach? I thought Pepperdine did a great job of recovering after that 0 for 7 start, but 54% from the floor, not bad for the UW.
Well, that's going to happen because two things. Pepperdine is pressing them, trying to get them out of their rhythm. They're not buying it. They're attacking, and because Pepperdine is playing them out tight, the excellent passing, they've had 20 field goals, 14 of them were assists. And I bet a lot of those were in the paint. That's why they're shooting such a high percentage.
Great distribution. Waves start the second half with the ball, and Greg Barlow on the point, guarded by Justin Denton. Nice backdoor cut by Chase Griffin. But Ryan Appleby had position. Offensive foul, Washington basketball. Chase Griffin in his senior year at Pepperdine, again a Seattle area guy, East Lake High School over on the east side in Sammamish, Washington.
That was Appleby being very aware of coming over, taking the charge on that.
Actually, they played traveling team ball together. Appleby, Griffin, and also Hans Gasser. Washington turns it over. Barlow has a chance. Can't convert it. Dentman off the scramble is trapped, but then gets away from it.
More great passing.
Starting the second half, Spencer Haas started for Artem Wallace and Jason Wahlberg for Willie Gallick and Pepperdine.
Didn't take him long to get in the starting lineup.
Brockman with a game-high 12 points, and Haas with the rejection. He'll stay there if he keeps doing that.
Well, that was great rotation. Great poise to not foul. He just got big. He didn't even have to go way up to block the shot. There's that backdoor cut, and they can give that backdoor cut because the weak side is coming over and cutting it off. That allows you to pressure the ball more. Quincy almost had that one.
Lee has been working on Pondexter all night. Good touch pass. Wahlberg to Pranceliauskas. It's long, and Pondexter has another rebound, his 5th of the night. Dentman is long. Look at Haas track down the ball, and Dentman puts the fake on, can't pay it off. Off of.
He might have surprised himself with that.
I think he did.
Did I
in the
get
end, it all winds up in a turnover. Yeah. Gotta be ready for anything. Quick hands. That seems to be part also of Lorenzo Romar's player model. You got to be quick with the hands, sort of like Nick Collison with the Sonics.
Nick has that policy? Or
No,
Nick has a quick hand?
He's got the trait.
Well, that's the kind of play that Lee wants to make, and he hasn't been able to tonight because of such great defense by Pondexter.
Offensive rebound, and Oakes will go to the line.
But when you don't get the shots in your rhythm that you're used to getting, all of a sudden when you're open, it's a much harder shot. If you're getting those every other time down and you're ready and you're confident, that ball's going in the hole. If you get them sparingly, it's a much different shot.
I think in the end that's probably the best thing that Washington has done to Pepperdine. They have knocked the Waves out of their rhythm.
Yeah. And it's a team that makes its living by knocking you out of your rhythm, and they've turned a tide on them tonight.
Brockman.
Nice
trailing the play, and Haas, a little fancy, and Brockman earning another floor burn trying to save the ball. But right now, Washington is, I would say, I'll use the word a little careless. They're trying to be a little too flashy, not playing within the framework of the offense. They've turned it over a couple of times here.
Yeah, they took a couple shots that maybe were too quick, but they've been hitting. You know, you don't want your players guessing. Is this a good shot? Is it not? If it gets out of hand, you can always correct them. But you want them playing a little bit on the, the confident. You want them on the confident side. Is what I'm trying to say.
Pepperdine has started out the second half the way it began the first, which is cold from the floor. 0 for 4. Pondexter, another putback.
You're going to know that name by the end of the night, aren't you? You have to bring it up a lot.
Brensiliauskas with the three-point shot.
I'm not going to know that name by the end of the night.
From Vilnius, Lithuania. Well, see, the only reason I can do the Lithuanian thing, one of my best friends growing up was Marius Masiunas from Baltimore. Actually, a first-generation American from Lithuania. Brensiliauskas. Come on, Bob, try it. Brensiliauskas.
Here comes number 4.
Nice. I can count on you. And he's seen quite a bit of playing time tonight, as Wahlberg has tried to work with his rotations. Again, last year, a guy who made the West Coast Conference All-Freshman team, Michael Garrity, averaged 14 points a game, but he's out with a stress fracture in his foot. Look at the move that Haas puts it. He caught backboard.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he had that all the way. That was the first real post-up we've seen him get, where he had to create a shot off the post-up. He made one in the first half off a rebound, but that's the first one where we threw it into him, made our cuts.
Take a look at it again.
He's looking, he's making sure everybody's out of the way, makes his move, and I guarantee if somebody would have gotten open, they'd have had a layup.
The other end, Dittman induced Barlow into committing a player control foul. So he now has 3. That wouldn't be good. Your point guard out of the lineup, but again, Wahlberg has been playing around with all kinds of rotations. Here's Oliver, the freshman, as they work the press break.
Okay, we need to see Nelson get off the snide here, because he's a great shooter. I called it.
I'll just put my headsets down and leave right now.
I'm telling you now,
Karnak.
Next time he gets a 3, it's going in.
So the freshman from Kaiser, Oregon, gets into the act with his first collegiate points. Dittman has done a nice job of running the offense. Only a couple of assists. Now Wahlberg, wow, just throws one up and it goes down.
See, that's where Nelson's got to learn his parameters. As an offensive player, you got to know your limitations. As a defensive player, you got to know your limitations. He just can't play people that tight yet.
Spacing.
Spacing, yep.
Personal spacing. Haas will go to the free throw line.
So, see, Romar's calling him over right now to talk to him about what to do.
Well, and Lorenzo, we saw with Justin Denton last year, who set Haas up on the play that sends Haas to the free throw line. Dentman last year, as a true freshman, was charged with running the offense and went through some growing pains. But by the end of the year, he committed a foul that led to an overtime loss at Stanford. It was devastating. And Lorenzo was into him in a big way. And you see now he's working with Dentman, working with Oliver. They had enough history that when Lorenzo spoke sharply to Dentman at Stanford, it didn't crush him. And Justin came back and had a couple of great games.
No, that's what he understands. He's been a player. He knows what confidence can mean. He also knows when to get on somebody. And as a player, you expect that.
Chase Griffin with the three-point basket. That'll be probably a collegiate highlight. He has always wanted to play here, and Wahlberg picks Nelson's pocket. Oliver fouls him, and sets Wahlberg up for a three-point play.
And this is the kind of thing that Pepperdine tries to do with his system. They just keep the pressure on you. They want you to start making mistakes so they can get easy buckets.
10 points for Jason Wahlberg, playing after missing time with a bruised knee, but he's keeping the Waves in this thing. It's at the Bank of America Arena in Seattle, so let's talk about you wanted to get Phil Nelson going, and they got Phil Nelson going a little bit.
Yes, but here's the play. See, you know, the heart is there. I want to play pressure defense. I appreciate that some, but you got to know how close you can get because he's too close. He's too lanky. He's got to use his size. He's got to get another half step off, and then if a guy takes a jump shot, you can get a hand up. But you can't pressure people that are quicker than you.
Wahlberg with some experience, again, the coach's kid and a 4-year collegian. Also had Nelson's footwork all screwed up, it looked like.
Well, that's what happens when you're quick.
Waves on a run to cut it within 11. Wahlberg with a team-high 11 points. Perry shows and then finds Oliver, who is trapped in the corner and has the ball stripped away by Chris Oakes.
You know, Oliver's really good with the ball, but right now his judgment, he's done that a couple times where he's gotten like a half a step too close to the opponents and let them put a real pressure on him. But he does know how to make a play. He'll get better at that.
Pepperdine has a chance to cut this to a single-digit ball game. Washington is led by as many as 17. Lee takes Perry into the paint, into the tree. Spencer Hawes will be called for his third personal foul.
Coach Wahlberg's his offense is they spread you out, they space, and they try and find somebody that can beat their own man, get into the paint, and create the shots.
How about the strategy that he's employed right now, going after Washington's young guys, taking advantage of their inexperience?
Well, he's going after whoever he thinks he's quicker than. Now, here comes Pondexter. He's a youngster. They're not going to go at him as much as they are some of the other guys. Now, first half, Pondexter did a great job on Lee. We'll see who's going to win this battle now.
Wahlberg in his 4 years at Fresno City College, 133-11, including a 34-0 run and a state junior college title in 2005. And hello. Going the other way. And now Romar has got to worry about the turnover bug that has bitten the Huskies here in the second half.
You got to pull up, see what's there. There's the draw. There's the kick.
There's number 4.
There's the miss. There's number 4.
Dentman works that penetration. Barlow tips it out of bounds, and the Huskies will have 24 seconds to shoot. Holding on to a 10-point lead. Lorenzo Romar, the second Washington alumnus to come back and coach. Lynn Nance played here in the middle 60s and then came back and coached from 1989 to 1993. Romar started out his head coaching career at Pepperdine in 1996 after working with Jim Herrick at UCLA. The Bruins run to the national championship in 1995.
And he had a lot of success at Pepperdine. That's what opened up other opportunities for him.
It's tough, you know. Gallick has called for his 4th personal foul. So he got involved underneath the pause, so he'll have to sit down. Brockman will return. This is the thing that happens sometimes. Romar, in his first season at Pepperdine, won 6 games, but then won 17 the next year. 19 his third and final, went to the NIT.
Well, you need time to get your own brand of player in there, to get a system going. And usually when you replace somebody, the situation wasn't the best in the world anyway, so it always takes you time.
Oliver got his man to leave his feet, ducked underneath and scored. Franciliauskas answers.
Franciliauskas says he's not going to miss 2 in a row. How do you like that?
Very good.
Did I get most of them right?
Yeah, you got it all. You got all of it, Coach.
Don't ask for a repeat. You guys have a button I can push to play that back if I need to?
Chase Griffin. 19 minutes by average last year, locking up with Justin Denton. Will put the pressure on, and
9-point game, folks.
Down to single digits. As the Waves have shown some resilience, but Denton gets the shooter's roll as he drives all the way in for the leaner.
He responds to the pressure. That's what you want your leaders to do. He's a young leader, but that's who he's going to fall on.
Pondexter won't give Barlow a moment's peace. Very close to a 5-second call.
Barlow saying, how many arms does this guy have?
They're just very long. Greg, very long. Brockman gets it fed right back to him and scores the second time.
Persistence.
Brockman now has 16 points on 8 of 12 shooting. Wahlberg beyond the arc. Denton's long rebound. Here comes a transition opportunity for Washington. Denton stops, pops, and can't get it to drop. Brockman, though, the offensive rebound, you betcha.
That's another problem you have when you're in a pressing defense. Nobody's got anybody specific to block out, and then that's one of the reasons that Washington's getting so many offensive rebounds.
Brockman with 17 points, looking for 18.
He said he was going to score more this year.
Averaged 8.5 points. He's the Huskies' leading returning scorer. 8.5 points. They lost between Roy, Williams, and Jones. 44 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists a game. That was by scoring 2/3. Exactly 2/3 of your scoring output from a year ago. Brockman is working to make up that difference and has doubled his last season's average with 17 points despite the miss a moment ago.
There's the drive that Lee wants to get. You know, I don't think Brockman's going to do this every night. This type of game leads to him scoring a lot because he knows how to move under the basket, and when a team is zoning and pressing, they leave openings. Well, you put some good passers out there, they're going to find Brockman, and tonight they've done it. He is going to get the offensive putbacks, that kind of thing every night, but he's not going to get all the easy passes off of layups.
You talked about the offensive rebounding. Brockman has 6 total, but Washington has 11 of its 29 off the offensive glass. The lead is back up to 14. Griffin,
I think he might have blocked that.
It looked like Nelson got a piece of it. In fact, I thought I heard off the floor, Mike. I thought I heard a little leather slap. Lee commits a foul coming up the floor. 16 fouls now against the Waves. 4 for Washington. Oliver, nice return to Appleby as the freshman Blake Wallace puts on a little pressure with Costain, the junior. Washington works it up the floor, and Pondexter pays it off.
Well, that pressure in the backcourt was the exact drill that Romar was running earlier in practice in the year.
15 points off of 7 of 11 shooting. And I think Ryan Appleby got called for grabbing his man. Take a look at Pondexter's last.
Double team, they keep attacking, they break the press. Nice post-up move by Pondexter.
Washington now in a 7-point run thanks to Pondexter's efforts and those of the guys around him.
You know, we talked about in the opening, when are these guys going to show what they can do? How fast are they going to come along? I think Pondexter is way ahead of what we had hoped for.
Floor burn central right here. And Oaks comes up with it, and then
you know what? I think that was a good call. so often when a guy's laying on the floor with the ball, it's open season. It looks like a football pylon, and they don't call it anything. So it's an unusual call, but I thought Oliver got him a little bit with his legs.
Third foul on Adrian Oliver. Washington, though, back up by 16 points. Now the big game is over, and you're still hungry for more Seahawks. Big win today. They're in the driver's seat in the NFC West after beating St. Louis again. Well, then tune in every Sunday for Hawks Recap with the Hall of Famer Warren Moon. Still not satisfied? Then tune in Mondays for updated player reports and a look at the upcoming opponent. FSN Live, Seahawks Central, tonight and tomorrow at 10 p.m. on FSN. Mentioned earlier, let's see, the Sonics now in position to finish their 5-game road trip with a positive record. They're 2-2 after 4 games. Clippers are now 5-1 for our viewers in Southern California. The Lakers also won tonight. They're 5-3 on the season, and that is a 5-second violation. Washington basketball.
Great Washington pressure again. You know, Washington had 14 assists at halftime, and this first 8 minutes they only got 3. So that means, I think, that Pepperdine is containing them more. They're not letting them get the run-ups that they got in the first half.
Costain, 5 feet 7 inches of energy. Again, a West Coast Conference All-Freshman team member in 2005. Oh, Oliver. Looking for one of the guys on the bench.
And one of the guys on the bench had good hands.
15 turnovers now for Washington.
I didn't see who caught that, but it was right to him.
Underneath, it's getting physical. Appleby is called again for a foul. That's 3 on Ryan Appleby. It's getting a little feisty down in the post. Take a look.
Hard drive. Yeah, that's an easy call right there. Choking is not allowed this year, guys.
One of these days.
The Huskies withstood one run, but there may be some more of this game. They've got to stay in there. Quit turning the ball over.
Pepperdine's turned it over 3 times in this half. Washington 4. As you mentioned, it has helped to disrupt the Huskies' rhythm. Still ahead by 14. It's been like this all night. Haas, how about a 7-footer who can put it on the floor?
Is that what Coach meant about having the size and not losing the mobility?
Wow.
Quickness, I think he said, but I wouldn't call Steve quick, but he is mobile. I'll settle for that.
Well,
here, look at this move. You got guards that can't make this move.
Great confidence.
And the thing that made that so it wasn't a walk was he did not grab the ball with 2 hands until he had already spun. So now you can establish a pivot foot. If he had come with 2 hands first, then made that spin, it would have been a walk.
Now, you told me in the first half that, okay, he's 7 feet tall. I said he's almost looking down on the basket, and you said, well, the basket's still 10 feet tall. But when he releases it, his release point may be above the rim.
Close. But his eyes are not in his hand, so he's still at 7 feet.
You're not buying it.
I'm not buying it. Good defensive pressure.
Wahlberg jumped out of bounds. Got a little bit antsy.
See, that's a difference. There, Wahlberg's trying to drive against a smaller man. Can't get around him. When he drove on Nelson, he got around him.
They've limited his effectiveness. They came back and cut this to a 9-point lead in part because Wahlberg was not only directing the offense in stretches, but he was scoring. I don't know if they've committed to it, but whatever Washington has done to him has been working. Rockman from his former AAU teammate Haas.
And good passes. That still works too. And also moving without the ball. He had to be in the right spot. Whoa, that was great. What a great move by Haas.
And then Pranciliaskis looks underneath for Gallick. give him a shooting foul on that. Pondexter is called for the personal.
Watch how he stabs at the man to make him think he's going, and then he jumps backwards so he can still get his hand on the pass. If Haas had moved towards the ball and stayed at that point, the pass would have gotten by the man, but he threw that fake at him. This kid's got a lot of poise.
Non-shooting foul, but Washington off the 8th team foul has put Pepperdine in the 1-and-1 bonus. Gallick makes them both. Still time, but the clock will soon become the Waves' enemy here. Brandon Burmeister, senior out of Mercer Island High School, is on the floor, and he's got the ball in his hands. To Pondexter. Brockman, the offensive rebound. Good save. Haas wanted the call, won't get it. Pondexter does a nice job. Didn't know what he was doing there, and Haas bails him out. Dentman, yes.
Haas is amazing. He can see not only the obvious pass, that was a skip pass. A lot of guys can't throw that thing. And only because they can throw it, they just don't see it.
Out of all of that, a 3-ball. Now, was that more lucky or more good?
The pass or the shot?
Oh, the whole sequence.
Oh, he was in control the whole way. That's what you like about him. There's not many lucky things.
Let's take a look at that.
That one's lucky.
Now, there's lucky, all right?
Yeah, but now the luck's over. You got it in somebody's hands, and looking around, seeing where the open man is, and delivering it.
Pondexter has committed his 4th foul. He's had a terrific night. 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists in his college debut, but he's going to have a seat. Lee rattles the first one in, and we'll get a second. Ryan Davis and Bob Weiss at the Bank of America Arena on the campus of the University of Washington. Huskies with an 18-point lead.
He tried to call timeout, but he was in the air, didn't have possession of the ball yet. Or so states the official.
And six turnovers on the Huskies this half. Like Dentman.
Great interior defense coming in, shutting that off.
Nelson can't hang on to it. Dentman forced Lee to disrupt the rhythm, leading to the turnover at the other end. And now coast to coast Griffin. Nope. Yes.
Great idea, but you're a little slow.
Brockman will not get the benefit, and Chase Griffin will get a chance to convert a 3-point play. Take a look.
Here you'll see it, and if I saw it right, watch him lean. He even took a step. He took a step while the guy was in the air. So can't do that.
That's 3 on Brockman. Griffin's family coming over from Seattle's east side used to come and watch a lot of Washington basketball. So this is kind of a dream deal for him, although.
And I bet they're here tonight.
I would guess so. He's got 5 points. Hasn't been the greatest night for him. 1 of 6. And at the other end, things are falling just right for Brockman and the Huskies.
Another great pass by Oz. Another great movement by Brockman. He just knows, where am I going to go? To the open spot. Bang. You know, another thing about a good passer, it makes everybody else move more. When you know you're going to get the ball, you're going to run, you're going to move, you're going to cut. If you don't think a guy's going to give it to you, you'll just stand and pass up opportunities. So this stuff is really going to open up this team to a lot of movement.
Great numbers. And you can add a couple of assists in there as well. Brockman has established here a new career high, and the Huskies will get the ball back.
He's playing great basketball tonight.
Let's see.
Got a little blood down there, maybe.
In front of the Washington bench, Spencer Hawes got scratched. John Brockman, 22 points tonight. And there you see a little blood on Hawes's jersey. But they don't find anything actually on him. So here we go. Look at that. Look at that. You want to talk about unselfish play?
And when things are going good, they go good. That ball was knocked loose, comes right back to Steve Oz, and he knows what to do with it.
He's got 6 assists. How about a double-double for the freshman, but not a points rebound double-double? How about a points assist double-double?
That would be amazing. And it's not out of reach.
But that's what he's capable of.
If he plays the minutes, he's got a chance to get 10 assists.
Take a look here, and again, John Brockman with 24 points, a career high. And Washington with its largest lead of the night at 21. Lee in the trees. Hawes says, I don't think so.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's the little too fancy department right there. And Hawes again denies Lee. Brockman has scored Washington's last 7 points. Won't get any more here, but at the other end.
We show you that again against coaches' better wishes. But look at this play. You know, a good offensive player, a guy that has feel, and you have to have feel to be a good offensive passer, because you have to anticipate. You have to anticipate a guy's going to be open. You don't see it and then make the play. What you see is the development. A good passer will see that this guy's going to be open in about 0.3 of a second. He is ready to make the delivery. And a lot of times that transposes to good defensive play, because you're good at analyzing the play about what's about to happen and where the play is going to be, and you can make the block.
Standing ovation for John Brockman as he comes off the floor after a career night. We still have 8 minutes left in this ball game. Wolberg with another three-point shot. Washington has 4 players in double figures scoring: Brockman, Pondexter, Dentman, and Hawes.
Pepperdine's not going to stop hustling. They're going to keep coming at you.
Well, if you're Vance Wolberg, you've got to establish a tone for this program.
And it looks like he's done that. He's run into a buzzsaw tonight, because I don't know if these young Washington players can play any better than they have.
Well, Washington's showing its depth now and leading by 18. College basketball and FSN brought to you by Dodge. Grab life by the horns. Lorenzo Romar turns 48 years old tomorrow, November 13th, 1958. He'll enjoy this one tonight. And speaking of birthdays,
nice segue.
Yeah. Barlow inside the lead, left alone by Appleby. Wolberg can't finish, and Hawes has another rebound.
He got grabbed there. I think that's why that pass went out.
Dentman still saves him.
Nice pass by Burmeister. He wants to get in on this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The senior from Mercer
Just
Island.
Perfect pass. Good seal by Hawes. Burmeister read it, threw it right where it needed to be.
Washington back up by 20 points. Hawes 3 of 4.
Wolberg shows he can pass too.
When you pass the ball like that, of course, you pull the defense apart.
Has Appleby hit a 3 tonight?
Not sure that he has. No, he's not.
Right here, we get another look at that pass. Burmeister brings it over. There's a seal. There's about an 8-inch gap there. He puts it right on the money. And a soft hands. Whoops.
Pondexter has another rebound. Make that 8 for him.
And did I say he hadn't had a 3 yet? Oh.
And he still has it. But it'll come.
I got to talk to him. He's making me look bad.
Gasser commits the foul. Started to talk about birthdays. I understand we got one in the truck. Our producer Curtis Wilson officially joining the Over the Hill gang today at 40.
Wait a second. What does that make me?
Round the bend. How about that, huh? Not over the hill, just round the bend.
Yeah. I get close to middle age. That's what I
Up the creek, but you still have a paddle. It's all good. There he is right there. The big guy, the brains behind the outfit. He is Oz. He's the man pulling the levers in the truck.
Happy birthday.
Curtis, his main mission in life is the producer of our Seattle Mariners broadcast on FSN Northwest. So this is just this is chump change for him.
Well, as exciting as these kids are, he may change his loyalties.
Oakes now has a dozen points. Wahlberg has 14. He's on the bench. Denton is pushed. He took a step, but I think
he took a step after he got pushed.
Had to help. Yeah, had to help. One of the big questions for Washington is, okay, Denton becomes your primary ball handler, then who's the guy that plays that role when Denton is on the bench?
Well, I think they've got a couple guys they can go to now. Appleby is one of them. He's more of a run your point guard, run your system point guard than Denton is. Denton can also break you down and score and do a few more things. But I think the other guy can handle the ball is Oliver. Is going to be able to fill that role a little bit for you.
Denton will leave, and well, here comes Oliver. Adrian Oliver, the freshman from Modesto, California, played at Modesto Christian.
Going to leave Appleby in there until he gets a 3.
Could be. Tell you what, I don't know about his ball handling, but Oliver averaged 26 points a game last year as a high school senior. Gets the rebound. Washington with a 37-27 advantage. Bullet pass for Pondexter, who will go to the free throw line. Appleby set him up. So, okay, don't bust him because he hasn't hit a 3 tonight, because he's done plenty else for his team.
I didn't say he wasn't productive. I just said he didn't hit a 3.
Willie Gallick is fouled out of the ball game.
He's done a great job moving the ball.
.21 turnovers for Pepperdine. 19-9 this half for Washington.
You know, we talked at the top about how long are these going to, you know, great recruiting class, but how long before they really start to contribute? Took Pondexter about 3 seconds.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, there's something to be said, too. We've talked about the guys who were, for instance, traveling team teammates or AAU teammates. Pondexter's father played in the NBA. His uncle had a terrific career at Long Beach State under Lute Olson, and then played 10 good years in Europe. So you're from a basketball family like that, your IQ is going to be a lot higher.
Well, the gene pool doesn't hurt either.
No, that's exactly right.
I think Nate McMillan's got one that's coming out here pretty soon. We'll see him at the Pac-10 in a year or two.
That's right. Jamel McMillan is playing his final year of college or high school ball here in Seattle at O'Dea High School. In fact, Haas beat him for the state championship at the 3A level last December, or rather last March. Tonight, so the Wildcats suffer a blow. Pondexter now playing with 4 fouls. But you take a look at the Pac-10, and I think you've got to, after a rough year last year, I think that Arizona seems to have regrouped, certainly on paper.
I like this move here. They're putting Appleby back in the corner so that when you're trapped, all of a sudden you got a 3-point shooter down there waiting for you.
Oliver.
Game's getting a little loose now.
Yeah.
Not calling some of this stuff.
Appleby shows, drives, and wanted to kick it back out to Harvey Perry, but turns it over. And now Washington has 20 turnovers on the night. Last year, they averaged 15 a game. Reduced the other guy in 18. Lee off the jump stop. +1.
I can't tell you how different Lee looks when he doesn't have Pondexter on him. That just shows you how good Pondexter is, because Lee can get to the hoop on almost anybody, but because he's got Perry defending him, Perry's no weak defender. Lee is a good basketball player. Pondexter is just an outstanding defender.
Well, we've seen as much of Quincy as we're going to see tonight. He is fouled out.
That was Perry's foul.
Check that. I was listening to the PA, and it's the season opener for them as well.
Here comes a lob.
Told you.
I thought it was illegal to fall out of the rafters.
That's a little something left over from the Valley. I guarantee you that. Franciliaskis hits another three. He is 4 of 7 beyond the arc for 12 points. Washington's lead, though, with less than 5 minutes remaining now, 25, thanks to a little bit of showtime.
Watch this alley-oop. Pondexter was pointing towards the hoop as he was running down. That's all I could say. Here it comes, because Adrian Oliver was watching him also. Put it right on the money. Bang. One for the fans. Well, that's 3-4 different angles.
John
Our staff is really on the ball. They got it on every angle tonight.
All over it. Great. Well, that's Wilson is he's the Oz figure, but it takes a talented group of camera operators to pull it off as well. I want to remind you that Sports Ultimate Nightly highlight show, it's here. Every great highlight, every unforgettable moment, every night on FSN. It's the only national show that gives you nothing but wall-to-wall highlights. The FSN Final Score, airing tonight at 10:30 right here on FSN. John Brockman has already established a career high in scoring with 24 points. He has 11 rebounds. 12 is his career high.
And Spencer Hawes didn't have a bad night either. 12 points, 7 assists for a center, 4 blocks. That's big.
But I mean, that combination of the ability to distribute and disrupt is really something special. This is why this guy was a McDonald's All-American. This is why this guy is arguably the most highly touted recruit in the history of the Washington program, and why you relax a little bit when you lose the Pac-10 Player of the Year in Brandon Roy and all the other guys that made up the heart and soul of last year's Washington team.
I agree with most of that, except the relax a little bit part. I know coaches.
Yeah.
When you lose Brandon Roy, you don't relax. He's feeling a little bit better about it tonight.
Look at what the freshman class did tonight, though, Coach. Look at that.
Oh, I agree. And it wasn't until tonight that he really started to relax.
Appleby beats the time count, and Oliver pays it off.
What a soft touch he has. He's quick. He creates his own shot, but then he shoots it just with such poise. Everything, when he finishes that shot, it's like he was wide open.
4 of 6, 9 points. Now, we talked at the very beginning, Brockman got in the way of that. We talked at the very beginning about Washington being ranked 17th in the country as Pondexter lays another one in 8 of 13, shooting 17 points. Snapshots are dangerous, but would you say this is a team that is worthy of national ranking consideration?
I don't know if they're going to be there in the first quarter of the season, but they could be by the half of the season. The middle of the season. We got to see them against some more experienced ball clubs, but I like what I see, because what I see is basketball ability.
College basketball and FSN brought to you by Sterling Savings, the perfect fit bank. Brian Davis, Bob Weiss at the Bank of America Arena in Seattle on the campus of the University of Washington. Washington in control. The season opener for both teams. First time that the Huskies and Waves have ever met. Tomorrow's second round of the Basketball Travelers Classic as Chase Griffin drains the 3. Washington will play Nicholls State of Louisiana. We'll have that game for you at 7:30 here on FSN. And then on Tuesday night, we'll have the tournament finale. Northern Iowa won 20-plus games, went to the NCAA tournament last year. Greg Barlow has just fouled out of the basketball game for Pepperdine. So that's the second disqualification by contact for Vance Wahlberg and the Waves. Talk about the tradition at Pepperdine. Since 1981, the Waves have had, they've won or shared the West Coast Conference title 10 times. It's pretty good.
It is good. It is good. And I think that they're going to be back up there pretty soon. I like the system I've seen here. I like the attitude he's instilled in this team. And this team is going to give some people trouble this year.
Brockman with 22 points. The other thing too that they've got a pedigree now. They need to get longer so that they can pay off that full court pressure, not get broken on the press as often as they do. But think about this. Dennis Johnson, who was the MVP of the 1979 NBA Finals when Seattle won its only championship. DJ was a Wave. So is Doug Christie, who was from Seattle and has had a decent career in the National Basketball Association.
Well, I think, and also you're talking about Pepperdine and what happened tonight. They will not be playing against a team that will be able to attack their press as well as the Huskies did tonight. The Huskies are made to play against this type of pressure because they've got ball handlers, they got outside shooters, they got good passing big men. You know, you come in here with a system, you got to run the system. And it didn't really matter what kind of system they ran, the way the Huskies played tonight, they would have beaten them. But when you apply that to some other teams, they're going to win some games.
And Wahlberg is trying to work in 8 new guys.
True.
One scholarship guy, but he's got a whole bunch of walk-ons. For a guy who's used to winning as much as he did at Fresno City College, his biggest enemy in terms of staying patient and allowing the learning curve to evolve is Vance Wahlberg.
Well, you know what? It's when you're a competitor, it's what makes you good, and it's hard to turn off.
Chris Oakes on the scramble was called for the personal foul, and Oakes has 4. Everybody's in the super bonus now, 2 shots for every common foul. So Phil Nelson will go to the free throw line. And Nelson, of the freshmen tonight, has had the roughest debut, but again, it's his debut, for goodness sake.
Well, it's I don't worry about him. I've watched him in practice, and he is going to be fine.
Bob, he could jump out of the gym.
Yeah, well, the thing that impresses me on top of that is that I've seen him, how he understands the game too, and I've seen him shoot. He's going to be a good shooter. He's going to be a good player.
39 rebounds tonight for a Washington team that averaged 37. A year ago, Pepperdine defensively, the other guy averaged 40 rebounds, and Wahlberg lost the handle on it, sort of like the ice cream cone that popped away from the kid on the sidewalk outside the store after he picked up the triple dip.
Well, Appleby knocked that ice cream cone out of his hands.
Well, and Wahlberg won't get another cone either. He'll just get called for the turnover. Ryan Appleby transferred to Washington, came back home after spending some time at the University of Florida, where he just was not working into the rotation like he thought he might. Timeout taken by Lorenzo Romar. Now you can call timeout off the bench.
And, you know, we talked about Oliver being a possible point guard. He can't do what he just did there. He dribbled against pressure, dribbled into a corner, got double teamed and picked the ball up. You know, you've got to be able to recognize when that pressure is coming to you. It's just like being a post-up player. Your job is to double or draw two people to you. Now, as a point guard, when you draw that person to you, you want to throw that ball. That ball has to be in the air when that double team guy is about 6 feet from you, because it's too late for him to retreat. He's committed, and you've done your job. You've drawn the double team. You don't have to make the assist. You just got to get it out of that double team, and then your teammates can take advantage.
So the idea there, Bob, is not to get so close to the perimeter or stay higher on the floor.
It's to not get too close to the defender. Don't let the defender get in there and clamp you.
Appleby off the rub from Nelson, unselfishly for Burmeister. Would have been 3. Oaks' rebound. He has 7 tonight, which is a team high for the Waves. Griffin fouled by Nelson on the way to the basket.
Nelson's still too close. You got to give him a little space. You can't play him as tight as these other people are playing him. Romar is over on the bench showing the guys on the bench. He's doing the footwork, explaining how close Phil is and the wrong footwork he's using.
Pepperdine shot 45% in the first half. Chase Griffin, not his best, 3 of 8 shooting, 2 of 5 from beyond the arc, but and he's a local guy who always wanted to come back and play the Huskies here in Montlake, and tonight he's got that chance.
Yeah, it's always that's the most fun, to go home and play, whether it's a team that you used to play for or a city in college. It's the city where you used to play your high school ball. Nice job stepping through the pick.
Alley-oop. Wallace can't handle it. Appleby.
If that was Pondexter, would have been a dunk. Wallace doesn't quite have the ups.
Go to conference, and the basketball goes to Pepperdine. Wallace seemed to be a little slow on that, kind of unfolding.
Yeah, a little slow getting up.
Second half shooting, 59% for Washington, 41% for the Waves. Wahlberg has a game high.
Looked like he willed that one in.
Team high, 16 points. Now John Brockman has a double-double, 1 rebound away from a double career high.
He scored a lot of them in the paint there. I can only remember the one jump shot, though. He didn't get just going to the hoop.
25 points. That is a new career.
And here is the jump shot. Boom.
All of that on 11 of 16 shooting. That's a terrific night. Actually got that one fed back to him and paid it off. Brockman with 12 rebounds to go with this. That ties a career best. Yeah, pretty good night.
I think if I'm an opposing coach and you're going to guard Brockman, you go stand under the basket. He'll be around.
He'll be there.
He'll be here. You just wait there for him.
He'll get to you presently.
All right. We need to see Phil hit a 3. There he goes again. He gets too close.
Oh, look at that. Nelson again trying to make the extra pass for Wallace. You really can't blame the thought. Nice read on the play by Lee to bring Pepperdine back the other way, although down 13. I think Washington is pretty good here in the season opener. Wahlberg with 18 points now, and the Waves have not gone away.
No, they keep coming. They keep coming.
This is a team that is picked for next to last in the West Coast Conference, where Gonzaga is picked to repeat as champion. But again, what we have seen here tonight, they have weathered a number of Washington storms and have refused to completely wither and go away. I've heard talk already that under Wahlberg, they're not going to stay in the WCC basement forever.
No, I don't think it'll be long before they're out of there. If they're going to play with this attitude. And you know, this game is not completely out of reach either. You know, a couple turnovers and the way they throw threes up there. Now Washington has to mind their business, handle the ball, use a little clock, get a good shot.
Washington also picked again to return to the first division of the Pac-10 conference. Think about this. Romar could be the first coach ever to have a Huskies team in the tournament 4 years in a row, which would make Hans Gasser and Brandon Burmeister the first Huskies players ever to go to 4 straight NCAA tournaments. Lorenzo NIT, his first year at St. Louis, inherited a pretty good team from Charlie Spoonhour, and then in the first round of the Conference USA tournament, Kenyon Martin was the National Player of the Year for top-ranked Cincinnati, broke his leg. Bearcats folded. St. Louis won that game and then beat a couple of pretty good teams to win the Conference USA tournament and win the automatic bid to the NCAAs in Romar's first year there.
Oh, we dodged the bullet there.
Wallace.
Now that's the kind of look you really don't need. They didn't pick it off, but you don't need it at this point in the game. There's 1:09 left. That's when you want to use a little more time. And this is a time that their Pepperdine's press can be effective, is because they're not attacking it as much. You know they want to play conservatively. Watch him just throw one up here then.
Yeah.
Make a liar out of me. Nice drive. Good kick. That's the kind of stuff you want to do.
Nelson, that would have been a triple. Or rather, Wallace gets 2 offensive rebounds, and for his effort will earn a trip to the free throw line. Artem Wallace was the Class A Player of the Year in Washington's class, well, single A. Think about this now. He's 6'8", 240. Bob, in high school in Toledo, Washington, he ran cross country.
That's a lot of beef to carry across country.
You think there's little string beans out there? Heard footsteps when Artem started running down the chute. Originally from St. Petersburg, Russia. Pepperdine has 5 guys in double-figure scoring tonight. Wallace is on the board.
They're going to be looking for a quick 3 here, or a 3-point play. Takes it all the way in. Nope.
Lee can't pay it off. All but 2 Huskies who have played have scored. Chase Griffin is in double digits now, 13 points. Burmeister is fouled by Lee, who was not set, so Brandon Burmeister will go to the line. How many guys, let's see, has Lorenzo Romar used tonight? Ironically, Ryan Appleby.
Yeah.
If Burmeister hits one of these free throws, Appleby will be the only Washington player who has not scored tonight. He's used 11 players, and 10 of them now have found their way onto the score sheet. Washington looking to crack the century mark. Burmeister gets him to within 1 point of 100. Figured you were going to have your chances tonight. Wow, look at Lee fighting through. Nelson had a hand on that ball, and Lee still converted on the basket. He's got 16 points, and Griffin takes the ball away, and Oliver, I think, has earned his exit from the game. That is his 5th personal foul. So the Waves are still after this thing, now down 10 with possession.
Yeah, it looks bleak, of course, now, but they never gave up. They kept coming at you. They kept trying, and they got it to within 10 right now, and they missed a layup off the steal, too. I mean, it should be down to about 8. I'm sorry, 8.
That's the new math.
Unfortunately, it's my old math. That's why.
that's why you're in basketball.
Best 3 years of my life, 5th grade.
There's a job waiting for you at the Office of Management and Budget in Washington, D.C. when we're done.
I had one. It was Enron.
Who? Huskies hit 100 last year twice against Morgan State, Loyola Marymount. And they're just going to go ahead and let this one run out. 10 seconds. Washington will go to 1-0. Pepperdine to 0-1. Waves lost their last 8 last season. We'll start this campaign with a loss, but a pretty good effort. Washington a little bit too much, a little bit too deep, and a little bit too strong as the Huskies post an 8-point victory here in the Basketball Travelers Classic.
Great opening night.